Welcome back for episode 4 of the Proverb series. I'm going to try to do this video in one take, and there's a reason for that, other than saving time. Kind of has to do with life and how things are and what we're going to talk about here. We'll look at Proverbs 10 verse 7, Proverbs chapter 10 verse 7. I'll be reading from the ESV version. As always, feel free to check out other translations or read this one. I seem to like it. It's a good translation for me. But again, they're all different, so it's good to get different perspectives there. So I said I'm going to try to do this in one go, and you'll kind of see why. So if there's a mistake or something like that, I'm just going to leave it on. I'll begin reading Proverbs 10, verse 7. The memory of the righteous is a blessing, but the name of the wicked will rot. So this might seem kind of obvious, straightforward, as a lot of Proverbs do, but it's deceptive. Not only is there a lot of deeper stuff that we can get into, but also it's just good to be reminded of this, and especially as we go about our day and lose track of the big picture. It's good to be reminded of the big picture and our whole life and the kind of legacy we're leaving, and again, seeing the big picture, looking past small mistakes, little inconveniences, that sort of thing. The wise really care about how they'll be remembered, and again, this isn't an ego thing or a people-pleasing thing. They realize they're building their life and their legacy in each moment. And they realize that, again, people are really the main recipients of whatever we do, whatever act of service we do. It involves people and relationships. And, if you're selling something, somebody's buying it, that kind of thing. If you're helping somebody out, you're helping somebody out, right? So why care about this? We just kind of gave the reasons, but our spirit is, of course, eternal. It lives on, and we really only have this time, though, on Earth like this, and physical bodies and all that, to put our dent in the universe. I guess you could say that's one way to put it. But we have this time, and it's precious time. We don't know how much time it is, but we have this time, and we can make the most of it. And really, the real gift we can give is to offer service to others in some sort of way. And that, again, that's the gift. Living our life with righteousness, which is, of course, the way of wisdom. In their last moments, people, of course, have regrets, and not everybody, but most people, and hopefully that's not the case for me. Hope it's not the case for you. But we can do something about that right now. We can choose how we live our life right now so we can minimize the chance of having a regret, of course. But also, people reflect on what matters the most, and really what matters the most is what they did with their life when it comes to other people and the kind of energy they put out there. And again, it's not just about, somebody going to remember I got this award or achievement or something like that. It's not just that. It's those things fade away. Building a legacy really involves serving people, and it's a spiritual legacy is what we're talking about. Again, I'm not saying getting awards is not something to pursue. It's good to get awards and to be recognized for your achievements, to build skyscrapers and, that kind of thing. But again, even, for example, if you're an architect and you build a lot of skyscrapers, eventually those aren't going to last forever. And 1,000 years from now, the odds of somebody remembering what we did, even our best achievements, it's possible, but it's very, very unlikely. So again, getting back to this, even if we create something, whether it's, art or, again, you design a building that people use, serve people in some other way. You teach, fix somebody's water heater. I don't know. The list goes on. It involves serving people, right? And people will usually not remember exactly what you said or exactly what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel. That's really important, and that gets back to this whole idea of a spiritual, relational legacy that can live on. So focus on the big picture, and don't worry about if you said something wrong, made a mistake. Of course, the big mistakes people probably remember, but again, if we look at the news today, the big news stories a year ago, it's hardly on people's minds. We're kind of a species with amnesia, as some people say, and we tend to forget things. But what we do remember is, how did this person make me feel? That's really important. So how do we apply this? Well, of course, we have the free choice to live our lives, and this is the opportunity we get, right? This life, just like I was going to get back to this, recording this video, trying to do it in one take, and it's kind of like that. We have one take, one opportunity, and we choose how we use it. And if we make a mistake, of course, our only choice is to move on and learn from it. Proverbs also shows us the benefit of living a righteous life, a life of wisdom, and again, those two things are kind of intertwined. The wise try to live a righteous life, and we'll talk more about the benefits of that. But we're just focusing specifically on the benefit of legacy here. And again, this means spiritual legacy. We're not talking about trying to make a name for yourself so that people 1,000 years from now will remember this great thing that you did. Our legacy endures, though. And again, even though a lot of what you do 100 years from now might not be remembered, our legacy endures. Our spiritual legacy endures. And this might sound kind of scary, might sound good and also scary at the same time, but if you believe that God is all-knowing, God has a record of our life, everything. I like to kind of think of it as, it's all kind of uploaded to the cloud. Nothing's forgotten. But don't be worried about that, because, of course, there is forgiveness offered, and I believe that's through Jesus, and your sins are forgiven. But your legacy, though, is your decisions and how you live your life. And again, if you make a mistake, ask for forgiveness, or if you do something you regret, ask for forgiveness, move on. Focus on what you can do right now, and keep the big picture in mind too. And again, this doesn't mean trying to people please or judging yourself based on people's opinions, like the number of likes you get or shares you get on something, or how much praise you get for doing something. This isn't what that's about. Ultimately, it comes down to, it's your relationship with others and what you do in your relationships with others, but ultimately God is the one who records your legacy and remembers your legacy. And of course, if you live a wise and righteous life, the odds are that you'll have people who will appreciate how you've served them and whatever gift you have to give and whatever you do. That's, the odds are stacked in the favor there. But ultimately, it's not about praise from people. It's about living the wise life and taking advantage of this great opportunity, and remembering that it's a spiritual legacy, and ultimately it all comes back to the source. It all comes back to God, who of course is, as it says in Proverbs, the source of wisdom. So we'll continue on in chapter 10. I look forward to See you next time, and that ends this. So again, keep the big picture in mind, and focus on how you can build your life and legacy in each moment.